Welcome back to Texas Nation. I'm Grant Levinson. I'm sitting here with Nathan Castro and Aaron Wolf. And this is going to be our roundtable segment. And we're going to focus solely on this year's Final Four. Now, guys, in one word, I want you to tell me who you got winning it. Nathan?
West Virginia.
Aaron?
Butler.
I got Duke. So this is going to be real interesting to see how we play this. All right, now, Nathan, tell me why you see West Virginia winning it all.
Well, West Virginia is one of those teams that a lot of people haven't seen play. They have played in the Big East, so they're battle-tested. Maybe that could be a good thing or a bad thing because of all the wear and tear on the bodies of those players. But they're just one of those teams that they play scrappy, they play great defense, but also they play like their coach. Their coach is a very tough-minded guy, won't take lack of productivity, i.e. Kentucky, just falling apart. They're going to play their hearts out. And it's going to be Deshaun Butler's time to shine. Like, I really think that if Deshaun Butler has the next best two games, he very well could be a top 2 or 3 pick in the NBA draft. He's just that talented.
I don't know if he can be a top 2 or 3 pick getting over Evan Turner and John Wall, but he is a fantastic player.
It's all about winning.
And you did mention defense. Devin Ebanks is a fantastic defender. He can really get out there and guard all the guards on the floor, be at the top of the key, whether it be down low, posting up. So he's a fantastic defender. Now, Aaron, Butler, dark horse. I like it. Tell me why.
Well, first of all, I mean, this whole tournament is a defensive driven. I'm liking it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to really see some good defense. I think Butler runs really good defense. You got Sheldon Mack out there with Ronald Norman. They're both, they get it really hot in the defensive and offensive tone. They really turn it up. They're going to be tough to deal with some of these really good teams. They have themselves taken out many opponents, and all the opponents they've played in the tournament have not scored more than 59 points. So their D is really going to be crucial, and not only that, their guard play is really good over there at Butler. They play against teams that are grind-out kind of teams really well, like K-State and other teams in Kentucky. So we'll see how they do against Michigan State, but I believe if they get past Michigan State, they're going to be able to do pretty well with, I believe Duke will beat West Virginia. I think they'll match up well against Duke.
Now, do you think that Kalen Lucas's injury for Michigan State if Kalen Lucas wasn't injured, do you think it would be a different story?
Yes. Yeah, I think it would be, but a lot of the concern for me comes from what Corey Lewis is going to do. Is he going to turn over the ball 5 times like he did with Tennessee? The guard play between him and Sheldon Mack is going to be very interesting. Sheldon Mack, if he shuts him down and Corey has a bad game, it's going to be difficult for Michigan State to even compete at all.
That's a very good point. Now, speaking of competing, Nathan, I want to talk to you about West Virginia competing over Duke. We all know that Brian Zuback isn't the best player, but he's a big body. He's a 7-foot-tall defender, really gets in there. He puts himself in great position to get offensive rebounds, and then he'll rebound, dish it out to John Shire, Kyle Singler, and they'll sink threes. That's what's worked for them in the past, and I'm sure that's what they're going to kind of keep going towards. They get a lot of second-chance points. How does West Virginia defend that?
Well, West Virginia's going to have a couple of problems, I think. First off, looking at, you mentioned the size. Zuback is a 7-footer, very agile, very, athletic. And then West Virginia doesn't have a lot of big bodies. I mean, they have Ebanks at maybe 6'9", 6'10", give or take, that can battle inside. But also, too, lack of a point guard. I mean, they lost their starting point guard. Mazzulla's played very well, but I don't expect Mazzulla to get those easy layups like he did against Kentucky.
Not going to be able to drive the lane so easily.
But West Virginia, they're battle tested. They've played, they're one of those teams that they play smart on offense. They don't take stupid shots. They run their offense, and Bob Huggins makes sure of that, and they don't turn over the ball at a high level. But it's going to be the three-pointer that's going to be the difference. If the three-pointers are falling, I think West Virginia will advance.
And just to add on that, I think with Duke, they don't run off-man defense very well. So I think if West Virginia really runs a lot of slice cuts and a lot of curls, it's going to cause a lot of problems in the mechanics of the defense of Duke, which is, I think, it's going to lead towards West Virginia's
and also
advantage.
too, who's going to guard Deshaun Butler? I mean, Kyle Singler. I mean, let's be
it's
real.
going to be a team
John
effort.
Shire is obviously their best defender, and he's their most aggressive defender as well. But one thing I want to ask, to some people this matters, and to some other people it doesn't. Now, Butler has never made a Final Four. West Virginia hasn't played in a Final Four since 1954. Duke hasn't played in the Final Four since 2000, and Michigan State was there last year. Does that matter? Does the experience, does Mike Krzyzewski being his 11th Final Four, his coaching experience, does that help? Does that make a tremendous effect when it comes to game time?
I mean, I would say so, because if you look at teams like Michigan State and Duke, they've been there. They know what's going to happen. They know what's the Final Four is all about. Butler and West Virginia haven't been there. West Virginia hasn't been there in a while. Butler's never been there. So in a sense, it's just kind of learning by trial and error. You know, they're going to have to go through the whole thing. I think what's really good for Butler is they're playing at home, and they have that home crowd, and they know that they're going to have a good showing for their team. But I always say experience beats out potential. You know.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I really think that coaching does matter. It's a little different college. A lot of the players, since they're always recycled out, you know, year after year, it seems like it's gonna be up to the players in the long run. You know, what choices are they gonna make on the court? And what's really interesting is the matchup between Butler and Michigan State. How it's kind of a home court advantage. Is that going to crack Butler, or is that going to help Butler?
Right.
That's going to be it's a unique pressure. I wonder which way it's going to sway. That's going to be very interesting to me. But I really think it's going to come down to the players, and experience is just going to be, you know, what they're going to make out of it.
Well, here's a little note for experience. You have a matchup between the two most successful 5 seeds in tournament history. Michigan State is 14-5 as a 5 seed, but Butler has a higher winning percentage at 6-1 as a 5 seed. So it'll be really, I guess, interesting to see how experience and statistics plays out. Now, news just came out. Evan Turner was almost a unanimous AP Player of the Year. What do y'all think about that? How do you see how he ran away so easily from everyone else in the competition?
Well, see, I'm kind of surprised because I've seen Evan Turner play. He's a very hot commodity, especially the NBA scouts are just drooling over his potential. But I honestly would have gave it to John Wall. I really would have. I mean, John Wall, he played on a better team. He did a lot more for that team.
But now you see, that's a common misconception. I'm the person where I don't care what team you play on. It should go off your performance and what you do to the games. Now, Evan Turner was out, and when he came back in, they won 21 games.
But also,
and he was. Well, go ahead.
But also, too, Evan Turner didn't advance his team past Tennessee, to where John Wall, you know, he was able to get to another round. And I don't know, Evan Turner, he's just one of those players I like him a lot, but I just think John Wall is going to be a great player in the NBA. And I think that if his team hadn't just given up against West Virginia, Kentucky wins the championship. I really do believe so.
I can't settle with that. I think Evan Turner is a good choice. I do like Kentucky. I do like Wall, but Evan Turner I was impressed with Evan Turner's performance. He did great. He really showed up for his team. I think a lot of their losses were not necessarily Evan Turner's fault, more of a team fault. But I do like Evan Turner as you know, winning the league for them.
Evan Turner is a 6'7" guard. That's dangerous. That's almost LeBron-esque. But that's all the time we have for our roundtable segment. But I just want to touch real quick before we send it away on next year's NCAA tournament. This year and the years past, it's been 65 teams, but next year could be a little different. How about 31 teams different? There's an extreme deliberation going on right now about whether the NCAA should expand its field to 96 teams as opposed to the 65-team schedule it has right now. When I first heard this, I thought it was a stupid idea. But after hearing all the details, I really like it now. It would take the exact amount of time to play out as this year's tournament does, because the first 8 seeds in each bracket would get a bye. And then this would also pretty much guarantee that a team like UNC never misses another tournament. So I'm down for it. So all you teams in the Pac-10 who can't win any games, get ready to dance. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. And next week is going to be a big draft special that you won't want to miss. For Aaron Wolf and Nathan Castro, I'm Grant Levinson. Thanks for watching Texas Nation.